Our next guests are going to give us some eye-opening perspective on domestic abuse in both women and men. Author and licensed therapist Shaneka McClarty, also known as Therapy Girl, has spent her career helping men and women build meaningful relationships together. And licensed clinical social worker and certified domestic violence counselor Ken Hicks, who is the author of 11 Building Blocks of Domestic Violence Prevention. Welcome, Shaneka and Ken. Hi.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining us on this is a very difficult topic, but one that really needs to be talked about. And I was wondering, Shaneka, if you could detail 2 examples of emotional abuse and 2 examples of, say, verbal abuse.
So there are many types of abuse. The physical abuse, punching, kicking, hitting, slapping, emotional, name-calling, humiliation, anything that will lower the self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
And verbal abuse, profanity, just yelling, anything that you can think of that is rude and disrespectful and degrading.
What are the warning signs? What should women and men be on the lookout for in relationships?
It usually starts with the verbal abuse, then the emotional abuse, then a lot of times the physical abuse. It goes up and up and up. Because a lot of times a person gets used to, hey, you curse at me all the time, I'm getting used to that. Then the person says, oh, you're used to that? Well, let me start, an emotional abuse. You're such and calling names and everything else. Well, I'm used to you calling names. That's not gonna work. I'm not gonna do what you tell me. Oh, you're not? Then let me go to pushing you around a little bit. Oh, you're pushing me around? Okay, I got used to that too. Now let me go with hitting you. Oh, yeah, well, I'm used to being hit all the time. Well, let me put a gun to your head and see how do you feel about that. So it goes high, escalates to the point where, hey, somebody's going to get hurt, killed if they don't leave.
You know, a lot of times you hear about people lording finances over people as a way to control them. Would that be considered abuse as well?
Yes, that is a form of abuse, because what can happen is they can prevent you from going to work to make money. They can have you to put your paycheck in their checking account, giving you an allowance, telling you what you can buy, who you can spend time with, where you can go. So financial abuse, that's a form of domestic violence as well.
And so controlling, being overly controlling, that is considered abuse.
Well, domestic violence is about power and control. It's a repetitive behavior about power and control.
I have a son and I have a daughter. If they were dating someone, what would be a sign that I would say this is a bad guy or a bad girl, you should run from them?
Well, signs to look for would be monopolizing that child's time. Only spend time with me, don't go out with your friends, don't talk to your friends, controlling, the text messages, the emails, Facebook, Instagram. Social media is very important with teenagers. That's important for you to really pay attention to that with your teens.
Yeah, I do.